Today's lesson is connecting through social interactions. Hi, everybody. I'm Roger.
And I'm Helen.
And today we've got a couple of conversations which involve social interactions, which means basically people are talking to each other and they're helping each other out. They've got information they can offer to the other person. And we've got some different situations. In today's program, we're talking about something that could happen in the office. We've got a new colleague. And we're meeting that new colleague, and we've also got some connections from the past. We're talking about coincidences. Hey, you went there? I went to that school too.
Right. So interaction basically means talking to people or working together with them. Social interaction refers to talking with people in a social situation, so you're being friendly to that person. You also have business interactions, which refer to those actions and those conversations, those exchanges that occur in a business situation or when two or more people are talking to one another about business.
Okay, so let's get to it. Let's meet a new colleague in today's program. Let's listen to the conversation between Craig and Tina. Craig is the new employee.
Connecting through social interactions. 1. Meeting a new colleague. Craig approaches Tina in the break room at his new company. Hi there, I'm Craig. I just joined the marketing department.
Welcome, I'm Tina. I work in the sales department. How are you settling in?
Everything's great. The project I'm on is really interesting.
Oh, are you on the electric car team? I heard they were getting an extra pair of hands.
That's me. Andre's my supervisor.
He's great to work with. You know what? You look kind of familiar. Did you go to UOP by any chance?
Yes, I did. I was on the student council there.
I remember you now. I was on the student council for a short time too, but never got to know you. If you need any help with anything, let me know.
Will do. Thanks so much.
大家好，我们来看标题中的单字 interaction， 它是名词，表示交流、沟通或是互动、交互作用的意思。例如Positive interactions with customers will keep them coming back. 与客户的积极互动将促使他们成为回头客。又或者说 Gary works alone at home all day, so he gets very little human interaction. Gary 整天独自在家工作，因此他很少与人互动。接下来我们介绍名词 colleague， 它的意思是同事或是同僚。例如Every few months, Penny goes out to dinner with colleagues from her office. 每隔几个月 Penny 就会和办公室的同事一起出去吃晚餐。又或者是 My colleagues enjoy their jobs as much as I do, so we have a very happy workplace. 我的同事和我一样热爱工作，所以我们有一个非常快乐的工作环境。接着看到 marketing， 这个名词的意思是行销学或是销售。例如Marcus studied marketing in college, so he knows how businesses should operate. Marcus 大学时研读行销学，所以他非常了解企业应该如何运作。又或者说 Their marketing strategy includes social media advertising and email campaigns. 他们的行销策略包括社交媒体广告和电子邮件宣传。再来介绍名词 supervisor， 它指的是主管、指导者或是管理者。例如Ella's supervisor at work warned her that she needs to stop coming in late. Ella 的主管警告她工作不要再迟到了。又或者说 Chris was excited to be promoted to supervisor after only a few months. 仅仅几个月就被提拔为主管的一事让 Chris 感到非常兴奋。下一个是 council 这个单字，它是名词，意思是委员会、理事或是地方议会。例如The teacher's council in the town is responsible for choosing what books will be read in class. 镇上的教师委员会负责挑选在课堂上阅读的书籍。又或者说 The student council met to decide how to raise money for the people in the war zone. 学生会集合决定他们要如何为战区的人民募款。
So the title of the first dialogue is Meeting a New Colleague. Here, the word colleague is very similar to coworker. A colleague is basically a coworker. It refers to somebody that you work with. But colleague is used more in a business or professional situation. So if you work for a company, let's say you're a salesperson in a company, you might refer to the person that you work with as your colleague and not so much as your coworker. But in any case, here we are meeting a new colleague, and Craig approaches Tina in the break room at his new company. And Craig says, "Hi there, I'm Craig. I just joined the marketing department."
Okay, so marketing, of course, is the science of the economic science of basically examining your possible market and promoting and selling your products. You got to do research and you need to do some advertising to let people know about your product or service and try to sell it. And he, of course, is a member of the marketing team. He's a new employee. He just joined the marketing department. And Tina says, "Welcome. I'm Tina. I work in the sales department." So this, of course, is a company with different departments. They've got a marketing department. They've got a sales department. They've probably got human resources and other kinds of departments that a company might have. And so they're introducing each other to each other. And therefore, they'll probably become very good friends in the future. And Tina says, "Hey, how are you settling in?" To settle in just means to get used to a new situation. Like if your child goes off to university, you might ask them, "Hey, how are you settling in? Are you used to your new classes? Are you getting along with your roommate? It's a new situation for you. Are you homesick or anything? Yeah, how are things going?"
And Craig replies, "Everything's great. The project I'm on is really interesting." So Craig is already working on a project and he feels great about his new situation. He has settled in already, apparently. And Tina replies, "Oh, are you on the electric car team? I heard they were getting an extra pair of hands." So Tina had already heard that the electric car team, which is apparently a team in the company that's working on an electric car project, was getting or receiving a new employee. And she had heard about this and she asks Craig, "Are you that person? Because I heard that that team was getting an extra pair of hands." So pair of hands basically refers to a person who does a particular job. For instance, I could say, "We really could use an extra pair of hands on this project," which means we really could use more help or an extra person to help us perform a task on this project.
Of course, you use your hands to do work, so yes, having an extra pair of hands can help them be more efficient. And Craig says, "Well, that's me. I am the new pair of hands. I'm the new coworker, the new colleague." And he says, "Andre's my supervisor." So, of course, in big companies, you have people with different positions, and a supervisor is somebody who is over somebody else. They monitor the other person's work. They give them projects. They give them requests and things like that. So, yes, Andre is the person who is superior to him. Andre's his supervisor.
Yes, and a supervisor is similar to a manager. It's somebody who overlooks what you're doing or your activity. And Craig says, "Yes, Andre's my supervisor." And Tina replies, "He's great to work with. You know what? You look kind of familiar. Did you go to UOP by any chance?" So Tina thinks that Craig is someone she had seen before. She says, "You look familiar." And then she asks him, "Did you go to UOP?" So evidently UOP is a university because in the United States at least, a lot of universities or university names are shortened by their initials. So U is university and OP would be either a place or the name of the university. And then she adds, "by any chance." Did you go to UOP by any chance? So the phrase "by any chance" is usually used when you want to ask someone in a polite way. If you want to ask if something is true. By any chance, did you see Mark on your way here? Or by any chance, do you have an extra pair of glasses that I can use because I left my glasses at home?
Yep. Is it possible that you went to UOP, the University of wherever, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, or whatever, And Craig says, yes, I did. I did go to UOP. I was on the student council there. So, yes, there are lots of activities that you can become involved in if you go to university. And he was a member of the student council. When you get a bunch of people together and they perform a certain function, you have a council. So this is the student council. You could have the city council. My father was a member of the city council in the small town I was from. And in this particular case, he was a member of the student council. I think you actually have to be elected in order to serve on the student council, at least in most universities.
And Tina says, I remember you now. I was on the student council for a short time too, but never got to know you. So Tina remembers Craig now because Tina was also on the student council, but she was only there for a short time. Even though they were both on the student council, Tina never got to know Craig. So to get to know here means to have the opportunity to know. Get to means to have the opportunity. So I could say, I didn't get to speak with my professor after a class because my professor left really quickly. So get to means to have the opportunity. She didn't have the opportunity to know Craig.
Yeah, to know him a little more personally. Maybe she knew his name and she knew about him, but she never really got to talk to him. So yeah, she did not get to know him very well. They didn't get to be friends or acquaintances. And then she goes on to say, if you need any help with anything, let me know. I'm here to help you because you're the new guy. And, of course, you're the new pair of hands in the office, and you may need to learn the ropes from people, and I'm more than happy to help you out. Okay, let's move on now to conversation number 2. We're talking about connections from the past. Tina and Craig are continuing their conversation, but Harry is going to join the conversation as well. Let's listen.
2. Connections from the past. At a meeting, Tina introduces Craig to Harry from the sales department. Harry, this is Craig. He just joined Andre's team. Craig, this is Harry from sales.
Nice to meet you, Craig. Welcome to the team. Thanks. I've seen your name on some emails. It's good to finally put a face to the name.
Craig and I just realized we were both on the student council at UOP at the same time.
No way. That's funny because Tina and I met before we worked here too. We both interned at another company. What a coincidence. Hey, maybe we've met before too. It doesn't seem uncommon around here. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
第二部分介绍动词 intern， 这个字的意思是实习或是当实习生。例如Andrea interned at a fashion magazine, which is a challenging job for her. Andrea 在时尚杂志社实习，那对她来说是一项有挑战性的工作。或是 Josh talked about the remarkable time when he used to intern at a 5-star hotel. Josh 说了一段在5星级饭店实习的难忘回忆。另外 intern 做名词也有实习生的意思。例如Marla decided to take a position as an intern in the hope that it would lead to a permanent role at the company. Marla 决定担任实习生，希望之后能在公司获得正式聘用。又或者说 Before graduating from medical school, Christina worked as an intern in the hospital for a while. 在从医学院毕业前 Christina 在医院当实习医生当了一阵子。最后我们来介绍名词 coincidence。它的意思是巧合或是同时发生的事。例如 By coincidence, both Danny and Fred are from Tokyo. 巧合的是 Danny 和 Fred 都来自东京。又或者是 Scientists still have no idea what makes the coincidence of these phenomena. 科学家们仍然不知道是什么导致了这些现象的巧合。
So part 2 of the dialogue is called Connections from the Past. And at a meeting, Tina introduces Craig to Harry from the sales department. And Tina says, Harry, this is Craig. He just joined Andre's team. Craig, this is Harry from sales. And Harry replies, Nice to meet you, Craig. Welcome to the team.
Right, so this is how you introduce people. Harry, this is Craig. Craig, this is Harry. Nice to meet you. I've heard about you for a long time. It's pleased to make your acquaintance. The feeling's mutual, etc. And Harry says, well, nice to meet you, Craig. Welcome to the team. So Harry already works for this company, and he knows Craig is the new kid on the block. So he welcomes him to the company. Hey, welcome to the team. And Craig says, thanks. I've seen your name on some emails, so I'm familiar with you. It's good to finally put a face to the name. So that's an interesting phrase here. I don't really use this too much myself, but basically if you put a face to a name, you're able to know who the person is after you know the name. So you've seen the name around like John Smith or Lisa Brown or whatever, and you finally get to see this person. Oh, you're Lisa Brown. Now I know the name is attached to you. You are Lisa Brown. You're that person.
And Tina jumps in and says, as she's speaking to Harry, Craig and I just realized we were both on the student council at UOP at the same time. So Tina tells Harry that she actually already knew Craig because they went to the same university. And Harry reacts by saying, no way. So no way is an expression that you use when you're surprised or you don't believe what someone has just said. So Harry thinks it's really strange that Tina and Craig already knew each other. So he says, no way. You actually went to the same university?
Interesting. So, of course, Harry's surprised by that. No way. I don't believe that. That's funny because we had met before we worked here too. We both interned at another company. So here to intern or to be an intern means that you work someplace, usually without any pay. You're just working there to learn the ropes, to learn about the industry. And maybe if you do well enough, you might get offered a job there. But for the most part, if you're an intern, you do not get any kind of pay. Maybe you'll get some help in some way, but usually not. It's usually a job that just gives you experience and nothing else.
And Craig says, what a coincidence. Hey, maybe we've met before too. It doesn't seem uncommon here. He laughs. So Craig reacts by saying, what a coincidence. A coincidence is when two things happen at the same time or in the same place. And it usually happens in a way that is very surprising or unusual. For instance, if I were at the airport going somewhere and I meet a childhood friend from another country and we just happen to be at the airport at the same time, then that would be a coincidence because it's very unlikely to happen.
Right. And of course, I think most of us have had similar situations where we ran across somebody that we thought we knew before, and we kind of think, well, there's some magic about this situation. Maybe we have some sort of connection because we ran into each other again. But I think, according to statistics, that isn't really anything magical. It happens all the time. And we call these things a coincidence. I remember a coincidence here in Taiwan when I was working for a particular company, and the secretary at the company looked awfully familiar. And I went to talk to her. Don't I know you from someplace? And it turned out that she was actually one of my students from about 10 years before. Of course, she had grown. She was older. She didn't look the same. So it was an interesting coincidence that I was actually able to be the colleague of a student that I worked with before. But of course, I've been in Taiwan for many years, so that's probably bound to happen sometime or another. Have you had any similar coincidences like that, Helen?
Yes, I've had a few experiences where it was a coincidence to see some childhood friends or some people from work in unusual places. Often when I'm on holiday, I would see people that should not be there because they're from a different place that I know of. So yes, coincidences do happen a lot.
Right. I ran into my language exchange partner in New York City by coincidence. Life is full of coincidences, but still, they are a lot of fun when they do happen because you kind of think there's some sort of magic in the air. And again, Craig says, what a coincidence that we all kind of know each other in some way from the past. And then Craig says, hey, maybe we've met before too. It doesn't seem uncommon around here. In other words, it seems common that people seem to have known each other in the past in some capacity.
Yes, and Harry says, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So Harry believes that it's possible that they may all know each other in some other context. And this could happen if they all come from the same city or the same state. Often in America, you have very big universities with a student population of 40, 50,000. So it's not uncommon for people to graduate, stay in the same city, and then end up working at the same company. So even though it's a coincidence, it's not that surprising.
Okay, that brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's turn things over now to Hanny.
各位同学大家好，我是 Hanny。 我们来看今天的文法重点。对话里面的 Tina 发现她和新同事 Craig 以前就有见过。那么在第二部分的对话里， Harry 也说他跟 Tina 也是来这里工作之前就认识了。这时候 Craig 他说一句 What a coincidence，多么巧啊！好，这边我们来学习感叹句。感叹句是用来表达热烈的喜悦啊、赞叹、惊讶、痛苦等等的情绪。我们首先介绍是以 what 开头的感叹句。我们用 what 引导感叹句，之后是要接名词。如果是单数可数名词，这个句型可以是 what a 或 an 加上形容词加名词，后面可以再加子句。那中间那个形容词要不要也都可以。举例来说 What an adorable baby she is， 真是个可爱的婴儿啊。好 What a mess 则是指真是乱七八糟。 What a rude person， 真是个没有礼貌的人。如果是搭配复数可数名词或是不可数名词的话，这个句型则会是 what 加形容词加上复数可数名词或不可数名词，后面可以再加子句。那一样这个形容词要不要都可以。像 What nice people they are， 他们人真好。 What beautiful music， 这是表达真优美的音乐啊。我们顺便补充一下，用 how 开头的感叹句句型则是 how 加上形容词或副词，后面可以加子句。那么 how 在这里是当副词，用来强调它后面的形容词或副词，去表达真是怎么样，多么怎么样。例如 How terrible， 真糟糕。 How interesting this book is， 这本书真有趣。 How gracefully she dances， 她跳舞跳得多么优雅。好，那么另外文中用到单字 coincidence 来表达巧合，我们来学习它的字首字根。看到 CAD 或是 CAS 或是 CID 这一类字根有降落落下的意思，那从降落的语义又衍生出发生降临的语义，就像中文会有那种祸从天降的概念，那带有这一类字根的英文字有时就会带有负面语义咯。好，那我们看到在 coincidence 这个字当中，字首 CO 表示一起， IN 表示进入，那么字根 CID 是降落， ENCE 是名词字尾。当同样的事件或情况一起降临在两个人身上，这样应该可以联想到 coincidence 表示巧合或是同时发生。我们也顺便补充两个有这一类字根的单字。第一个是 casual， 它的字根 CAS 表示发生，那么 AL 是形容词字尾，把它合在一起 casual 可以用来形容是偶然的、碰巧的、不经意的。第二个补充的是 decadence， DECADENCE， 那它的字首 DE 表示离开，就带有那种 apart 或者是 down 的意思。字根 CAD 表示降落， ENCE 是名词字尾。那我们可以用这种偏离正轨往下坠落的画面去联想到 decadence 它有堕落或是颓废的意思哦。好，那以上这件重点整理，我们回顾这些单字吧。
Interaction. In this digital age, meaningful interactions among neighbors have become increasingly rare. Colleague. My colleagues and I will have a meeting about the project tomorrow morning. Supervisor. Diane decided to report the issue to her supervisor. Council. The city council voted to approve the increase in the city's budget. Coincidence. It was just a coincidence that they both decided to dine at the same restaurant that evening.
Well, that brings us to the end of another edition of our program, and please make sure you join us again next time. From all of us here, I am Roger.
I'm Helen.
See you next time.